Hi, happy Monday. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Barbara. This is the Unglamorous Glow. We are going to be we're going to be talking health, whether that be wellness, fitness, all that, taking you with me through my week. Hopefully, I've switched over to posting on Mondays because I feel like this content is something that needs to be at the beginning of the week, not in the middle of the week. All right, it's just something simple. Um, I got the mush again. I'm trying the apple cinnamon one. I had blueberry, and I'm more of a blueberry person than I don't like apple cinnamon. I don't like cinnamon. I don't like apple cinnamon flavored oatmeal for real, but it's in the pack. Then I have this, my protein shake, and an apple. So I've been feeling like I haven't been seeing, since I switched over from my normal how I work out, I haven't really been feeling as toned. Not saying I'm like super toned, okay, but I feel less toned because I feel like what he's thinking is advanced, because he said it was an advanced glute workout, and I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but I'm just saying what he thinks of it advanced, because I looked at the chart that he's using, which is I feel like a made up chart, and he's saying like if you can do 135 to 185 back squat 10 times, that's elite. That's not elite, but that's if that's who he's used to training, you know. If you train soccer moms, why do you have to take jabs? Okay. Basically, what I'm saying is that's not enough volume or weight for me. And those, it's too foo-foo. It's too foo-foo. So I combined it. I combined it with Candido. So I did my back squat and my deadlift from the Candido program. And then I just used the other stuff, the Brett Contreras stuff, as like isolation movements. I did barbell squat, deadlift, hip thrust, good mornings, um, some ab stuff, abductors, band abductors. There's some stuff like that, you know. But I feel it. It feels better. Because before it wasn't like, I could tell I wasn't doing much work. I forgot to taste the stuff, the chef. I don't. Listen, a beautiful day begins with a beautiful mindset. It's not bad, especially if you like that. So, the other one had coconut water or coconut milk. I don't remember, but this one has almond milk, rolled oats, dried apples and apple juice concentrate. The other one had like dried blueberries and apple juice concentrate, and this one has cinnamon and sea salt. So the other one has cinnamon in it. I mean, sea salt in it too. I do like the blueberry better, but that's more just a personal preference thing. It's not. This isn't bad. So I gotta I'm late again with my chia seeds. It's 12:30, so I'm a little hungry. Like, I keep getting off and on hungry. So I'm going to get my chia seeds ready. They need to sit for at least 30 minutes. They really need to be in there for 2 hours, but again, I'm running late as per usual. So I need to start doing that at night, or maybe I just need to make like 5 at a time. Like 5 jars, because I measure it out so that I get 30 grams, because that's a serving. So maybe I just need to do that. I do 5 or whatever, and then so I have them and they get the time that they need, because I'll be just in a rush when I'm doing them. Did I show y'all me? I was on the treadmill or on a walk. walked in while I was in a meeting? I think I did. But yeah, I'm doing my stuff. I'm behind on my water, but man, I do what I can. I need to get that done. I do what I can. I'm about to head out for my after work walk, and I'm gonna read. I'm reading this book. I mean, you have to be in a certain mindset to be reading this. So, has anybody out there ever read it? Yeah, I can't say it's for the general population. You know, it's for if you in that mindset to where you want to let go of certain beliefs that aren't necessarily based in fact. That's all I want to say about that. But you can read it if you want to. Just because I'm reading a book doesn't mean that I am indoctrinated in the book. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm a person who I like to listen to different schools of thought, definitely even schools of thought that I don't agree with, and see if there is something to be learned from it. In this book, it was talking about, today, it was talking about mindful eating and using mindful eating to prevent binges. So before it was talking about practicing mindful eating, and it was talking about practicing it with raisin, like really taking a small bite of the raisin and feeling the texture and all this, kind of just really being in the moment. I did it with a blueberry. It was cool. Nothing to write home about, but I've also been trying to do it during my meals. It talks about how, you know, it can be hard to try to be mindful in the way that it's talking about, like really being observing and only focusing on each bite. It can be hard to do that through a whole meal, but you can do that in some parts of your meal just to practice, to make it a reflex. And then this other part was talking about, like with binge foods, like foods that you typically binge on, like imagining eating those mindfully at first, but not too soon, because the point is not to never eat. You don't want to have good foods and bad foods again, because that's kind of why how that other book I was talking about and this book go together, because it's a neutrality of food. Like, it's not villainizing. It's talking about eating ice cream mindfully, or it's not one to feel like we're only gonna eat, you know, healthy foods. No, we're just going to not crash out because we haven't had a cookie, and a cookie now is an amazing thing when it's literally just a cookie, you know. So just being mindful and eating things when you're hungry and listening to your hunger cues and stopping, being able to stop. That's the problem, not being able to stop. So yeah, I was getting into that book too. I'm in the kitchen, this is what I'm listening to. Y'all know the song? I don't know why this was in my head. Good things. Okay, gotta go back in here and do my. I just wanted to share this with you all. Listen to it. Baby, hold on to me. You see, I'm a special kind. It's hard to find. Told you 1,000 times. Baby, hold on to me. I'm just gonna have a little plate because I'm still, I don't know, it wasn't in this video, but in the last video I told you we was eating out all weekend. It is Wednesday, and I'm just still, you know, not really hungry. I'm running late. Okay. I don't have time to do the protein. I'm just do a little bit of this because I really do want this run to be, I don't know, these is the two flavors that I don't like. It's raw. This ain't got nothing on it in it. Unflavored. Okay, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I usually do like creatine and stuff. Creatine and some protein before. But I can't. I don't have time. So I'm just hit this up. Just some electrolytes. I am wanting to have my run time under 12 minutes. So my mile. I want to do a mile in less than 12 minutes. So if that's 11:55, that's 11:55. My plan for that is to do 5 minutes of like getting warm up, 5 minutes, like whatever speed, about a 14, 15. Then start bumping that up and have, try to maintain a 13-minute, but have bursts of like a more closer to 10-minute in there so that it averages out to less than 11. I mean, less than 12. That's my plan. I'll be back and we'll see how it went. Here she go with her workout. So 1.01. I did it in 12 and a half, but you look at that pace, 11:55, and then if you look at the mile, you look at just the mile, not that little 0.1, it was at 11:57, 11 minutes 57 seconds, under 12-minute mile. I'm just gonna groove into that, keep doing that for like the next 3-4 weeks, and then I'll make another goal. But right now it's just be consistently under 12-minute mile. It's gonna be the same thing. What did I do with the apple? Okay, so apple mush. I'm trying the vanilla bean flavor today, and my Premier protein. That's gonna be breakfast. Let's try this. And I think, yeah, I tried the apple cinnamon yesterday. Tomorrow I'm gonna eat the other blueberry one because I tried it in the other video, but just so all the flavors that I have are in one video, I'll try that one tomorrow, and I'll let you know which one is my favorite, period. So be careful. It's not bad. It has 10 more calories than the other ones. I'm guessing that's because it has dates in it. So it's almond milk, rolled oats, dates, vanilla extract, and sea salt. This has, so I'm just trying to see. So 5 grams of fiber. So it probably has more fiber in it, as like it has an extra gram of fiber than the other ones because it has those dates. I'm assuming. And yeah, I think, I'm not gonna say I like the taste of this one better. I just like the fact that it has dates in it, and I've been wanting to have dates. I'm running late. It is 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. So that didn't do much, but I made it done.
African races who want bulging and bountiful flesh. The author here goes so far as to reimagine the legacy of the classical Greek ideal, refashioning it oddly as the foundation of the slender aesthetic. In this way, this piece works to bolster the relationship between race and weight. Much like Godey's ladies' book before it, Harper's promulgated the inferiority of African and Turkish races, said to delight in bulging folds of flesh. And it simultaneously claimed the superiority of trim white people.
I ain't gonna say nothing else about the book. Like, if you read it, I'd love to chat about it. But, or if you read it, I'd love to chat about it. But I know that it's just like, it's too complex well, the opinions that I have on it are so like they warrant a conversation, not just like a think piece. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even sure that I have the same take as the author on the information that they're laying out. I will say what Kevin said yesterday about beauty being beheld by the conqueror. I think that sums up the book like that, because we haven't even we are going into the 1900s and we still haven't even heard from a doctor. We're just hearing about art. We're hearing about a way to make claim on who is the superior race. We haven't heard anything about health. Yeah, this one though. When I start going around like this in videos, that's when the video never get posted. When I start like really, diving deep, that's when the video never get posted. So I'll leave it at, hey, if you read the book, you come back here, let me know. Maybe we can start a Discord channel or something where we can chat about it. But it's too much for a one-way conversation to me, you know. But you just have to be at a certain place, and I do understand that this may not be the place for that, because we just, because of the certain things that we are taking as fact on this, like that certain things are good and things that you should aspire to, and other things are bad and morally wrong. I said I wasn't gonna talk about it. Let me get back to the friendly content. I'm getting my water in. So silly. I mean, because yes, I do have to hydrate. That's like a thing for my body to feel good. I just went on a walk. That's a thing for my body to feel good. But do I have to aspire to? I guess my question is, where does health begin and end? And where is vanity? And where do they intersect? When in a space where vanity is like the key mover. Because we can say, oh, I'm doing this for my health. I'm doing this for my health. But, again, let me get back to it. Let me get back. Guys, I'm drinking my water. Let's look at this. I'm behind. Let me drink my water. And that's it. Like, I guess we'll leave it there. Good morning. So this morning I did just cycle. So I was on the stationary bike for like 30 minutes because I tried to do my lower body stuff and my legs was not having it. But as I was on there, I got to thinking, what am I gonna do with my hair next? And I was like, I haven't used that braiding hair. I can use that braiding hair. And I was like, hold up. Which takes me back to my conversation yesterday, which I don't know how much I'm going to put on here. But even taking it out of the body size conversation, I was like, hold up. Did you not hear that the braiding hair was a carcinogen? Or is made of carcinogens? Did you not go on Chat GPT and ask, okay, so if you wash it, then what? And it said it'll still be in there. And then you were like, okay, but does it actually penetrate, the skin barrier? Does it affect health? And the answers were yes. So we have to go back and say, if health was top priority, why are we talking about braiding hair? And you can put it under the guise of, it's a protective style, just because that wording has been used. They just said it was a carcinogen. So why is it still even? That's how much beauty is not in its rightful place. But it makes your skin appear more youthful, more healthy. And I'm using it. I use it. So I'm not trying to, no judgment. But I'm saying, is it really about health? Is it about looking healthy versus being healthy? Is it, where is beauty at in this equation? And is it a little higher? Like the look, the appearance to society that you're healthy versus actually being healthy? If I were to go and get liposuction right now and get a BBL, I will be looked at automatically as health and did the same stuff I'm doing now. Same stuff. The green leafy vegetables and all that, whatever. People's idea of me would change, but would I be healthier? No. I'd actually be sicker. I'd be recovering from a surgery. I'd have, let me get out of it. But I'm saying this, I'm just wondering, these are questions that I have in a conversation that I know is not necessarily for, again, like a one-way conversation. Where beauty and health collide, intersect, but sometimes beauty is a disguise, like really the vanity is a disguise for caring about health, or health is used as a, disguise for really caring about beauty. I guess that's what I want to say. Health is used as a disguise for really caring about beauty and vanity, which is okay, but I'm just wondering how much is there to sacrifice. Like, am I about to put this hair in my head for a look, knowing that these things have lead in them? Like, or do you only care about your health when we talking about? Do I only care about when we talking about a look, something that? Because if they said braiding hair makes you fat, everybody would stop. Everybody would say hell no. If they said braiding hair keeps you from having a flat stomach, everybody would say, see, that's why my stomach's not flat, and it would be over. It would be out of style. Because it's a protective style. Yeah. Okay. Just things come in and out of trend. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, the little crinkly hair with crochet braids, that was cool. Did they change in any way? No. We decided that we didn't do it no more. K-Swiss. Did K-Swiss change in any way? No. We decided that wasn't the 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 thing. And if that's you wear K-Swiss, no problem. Just saying, just using it as an example. Gauchos, that, and these things may be coming back into style. But if you old enough, you remember when they was in style and when they wasn't. Did the look of a gaucho change? No. Trend changed. The people's idea of what beauty was, and you felt beautiful in those gauchos or whatever. I'm trying to think. I can't think of nothing because everything that I grew up with is coming back in style. But you felt beautiful in those. And then once you were told that that was no longer in style, you felt silly in it. So, like, where is the intersection? Where does your real opinion begin and end on things, on your hair, your body, your facial features? Where does the real you? Because I can say, I like to wear my hair this way. I like these earrings. I like this. I like that. But why? How much outside influence? Because obviously when I was born I didn't care about these things. So how much of the outside world is making that up, and how much of that is to benefit me, and how much is that to benefit something that's not me? Those are just the questions that's coming up. To self, I'm wondering how I'm gonna feel when I'm editing this, because when I start talking like this, I don't be wanting to share, because I be like, nah, they're not gonna, people. I don't want to touch on nothing. I'm just wondering. These are just wonderings, and I'm wondering Is there anybody thinking like, have you thought about that? Like, how much of it is you? Because some people would think my hair is perfect right now. Like I do. I think it's perfect. But some people think it looks a mess. Some people think it's unkept. You know, who cares? You know, right? But but like, what influences that? And how much stake should we put on those things? Let me stop this. Because this weekend I'm supposed to be going to a revolving sushi place. So like the sushi like comes around on a like conveyor belt. And I've been there before, but I'm going with one of my friends. And then I'm supposed to be going with somebody else on Sunday. We're gonna start our little seedlings. We're gonna go to a place to get our seeds and stuff like that and start, you know, our garden stuff. All right. I hope this is, yeah, this is the one I haven't showed you. In this video. I had it in another video. Coconut milk, rolled oats, dried berries, apple juice. So it has blueberries and apple juice concentrate and sea salt. This one has only 4 grams of fiber because I told you those dates and that other one was bumping it up. And then it has 5 grams of protein. I like this one the best. Spoiler alert. Okay, so do all the purple ones say the same thing? I'm not sure. Yeah, this one's the best one. Maybe I'm partial to blueberries. I do eat a lot of blueberries. If you don't like the taste of oatmeal, you're not gonna like this. If you don't like overnight oats, you're not gonna like it. Like if you don't understand what overnight oats is, as far as you eating oatmeal cold, that's not cooked. That's softened by the liquid. Like, please understand all those things. So if you're not an overnight oats person, you're not gonna like it. But if you are, then you will. See?
Con tomate.
With tomato. Con tomate.
La ensalada.
Salad. La ensalada. I probably have a la ensalada. You know?
Una ensalada.
Yo. La ensalada. Una ensalada. Ensalada. Yo como la ensalada. La como ensalada. I don't know which one. Salt.
Sal. Sin sal.
Sin sal. Sin is without. Without salt. Con o sin azúcar. With or without sugar. They said I didn't say it right. Con o sin azúcar. With or without sugar.
Con o sin tomate.
Con o sin tomate. With or without tomato. With.
Understand
I done
mistakes
missed some
better
days.
with Explain
I
My
wonder if
Answer.
it's gonna let me have
AI-powered
my
explanations designed to level up your learning.
my streak or not, because I done missed some days. One thing I be liking about Duolingo is it is kind of, yeah, it's very lenient on you. You get to keep your days, but it'll freeze them, so you don't, them days don't count, but you get your 39 days, but it should be probably 40, 41, 42 days, but it let me keep it. I appreciate that. Okay, again though, let's also talk about the privilege in me being able to say that, because couple things. I looked up the average weight of an American female. It's 170 pounds. So me being somebody who stays around 30 pounds more than that, you know, that's also a privilege to be like, yeah, it doesn't matter, blah, blah. Because when I go out into the world, I'm not being like gawked at as something that's out of the norm, because a lot of women look like, are the same size as me. So there's privilege there. And we're talking about them braids. Some people aren't comfortable with their hair. Some people don't have hair. Some people don't know how to do their hair. So there's privilege in that. There's privilege in being able to say, I don't care how I look. I don't care. I'm married. I have somebody who loves me in all forms. Did y'all just see him doing my hair? And I looked crazy the whole time. He was eating it up. I don't like, there's privilege in that, and adhering to the standards are helpful to get through life. I'm just asking a question. I'm not trying to change your mind on nothing. I'm not saying you gonna change my mind on nothing. I'm just asking a question, like, have you thought about it? Or have you just decided or just went with, I'm supposed to be cute. I'm supposed to strive for these things and they matter, without really thinking about why they matter. Because there's no wrong answer. Look fine. I like you looking fine. I like to see you that way. But I'm just wondering, who does it benefit for you to be preoccupied with that? Not only with the size and shape of your body, which we already asked the question of, is that health, or is the main focus really a look? But because you could do all the same things. Again, like I said, I could do all the same things I'm doing now in a different body, and it would be perceived different. I would be considered an expert based on my body. So the body that, if genetics gave me a different body, if a surgeon gave me a different body, I would be perceived different. I'm just wondering, these are just, and it's not I don't want to be perceived different. I want to be perceived as I am, so that other people can, feel comfortable in their skin. So I'm not trying to be anything other than who I am. But I'm just wondering, have other people thought about these things? Not saying you have to come to the same conclusion as me. I'm just wondering, did you ever think about it? And like why you do the things you do, or why you like the things you like, and how much of it is really you, and how much of it is outside factors, and how much of it really can be you because you came here as a blank slate. So everything that you know, everything that you learned, everything that you like, is kind of things that you piled on. That's no judgment, because I got stuff I like. I'm just asking, where did it come from? Because we don't be having time to explore that. I'm just wondering. Is it all like, or is it all you silly? You should get your make sure you get your picture. Sometimes that gets misinterpreted. Like sometimes the text will be like, I'm not going. Right. I'm so excited that the book that I referenced, I have a book club that is just starting, and that's the first book that we're going to be discussing on Wednesday. And I know that they'll have like even different insights, because whereas I may be less mainstream than the people I'm talking to when I'm talking to you on YouTube, they are less mainstream than me, so they'll probably have ideas about the book and things that that seem far-fetched to me, whereas my ideas might seem far-fetched to you, but I'm also willing to hear them out and take what I resonate with and leave the rest. So that's what I'm hoping that you do from the conversation I have, and I would love to hear any thoughts that this conversation springs up for you. I am on my way. We were supposed to go start garden stuff today, but the place is closed because it's Sunday, so we're going to a coffee shop. Bye. So I was reading this book about, and like as it goes through, it kind of starts in like at least like the 1400s, but I think before. And, it talks about all these paintings of beauty and all of this. And we just now, like, getting into the 1600s where women are even having an opinion on women's beauty.
Okay.
And, of course, it's backed by, they didn't say that, but, like, what I'm noticing is that we have these, because women couldn't be painters, women couldn't be writers, so the depictions of what womanhood was supposed to look like was by men. And so now as they come onto the scene, they're thinking they're giving something that's of their own making, but it's like not pure of their own making. And
Like the women.
yeah, and the men's is not even pure of their own making, because they had I don't know. I think that's what I was writing about, is like the question of like who created beauty. And they'd be saying like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it's like
Beauty is really in the beholder of the conqueror.
that's kind of what I wrote on.
That's really, I mean,
Beauty
really,
is in the eye of the, what did you say?
Beauty is in the beholder of the conqueror.
Of the conqueror.
The conqueror beholds it. So beauty is in the eye of the conqueror.
Of what they think. So that's what I said, who created beauty? And I said, that's, I guess, who created the standard and why. And, a certain type of man to control women, to cause competition, to be an authority over women's bodies. The other type of man, I'm going to leave that out because I'm on here, but you understand. To gain some authority for himself and some control. And I'm like, is it a real thing? No, it's made up. Is it something to strive for? And I said it helps to get ahead in the world. Like, beauty helps to get ahead in the world, but I think it's best if you don't put too much stock in it or too much of your like self-pride in it. And understanding that it's made up to control and to create commerce. Like, if people don't have something that they're like wanting to be, we don't need but like about 3, 4, maybe 7 pairs of clothes.
Right.
We don't need makeup. We don't need lip gloss. We don't need these things.
Right.
If we're not trying to, be something, adorn ourselves. And some of that is fun. Some of that is art. So it's so like convoluted when I think about so as it applies to that book. A lot of people try to use that book as something to be like about weight stigma. Which I get it, in that it's about fat phobia and that kind of thing, and I understand it. But there's these like intersections of beauty versus health, versus addiction, versus your self-autonomy. Like, just because maybe your body doesn't necessarily have to be, who cares if it's beautiful? If you don't, it's up to you to decide what you just think is beautiful. And then it's also up to you to decide if that's a defining factor. That's one thing. It's also up to you, I guess, to decide what health means to you, if that is something that you're concerned about or not. So, like, I can't just take the book as maybe other people have took it as, well, because this thing is attached to the history of fat phobia, is maybe attached to wanting to separate certain people from bigger bodies that happen to be African bodies, while also, do that mean
It sounds like
you
that's
still got to
like,
take care of it.
Well, and it also sounds like you could take it as very one-dimensional. That's one part of the story, but like making peace with your body and stuff like that, but not making peace with your hair. Have you really done all the things? Because like people make peace with their body and the fat phobia aspect of it, but still not like their skin color, or still not like their nose shape, or still not like their hair texture, and do all that other stuff. So because like to your point, it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
Because it's all, you know, part of that wheel of privilege. It's all basically forcing people into that what is deemed normal. And all of it is. And yeah, I think there's an underlying, basically there's an underlying lesson to be learned across the full spectrum of quote unquote beauty, but I'm talking about like characteristics, the full spectrum of characteristics. Because I've seen plenty of people who are in like healthy by every size discriminating people because they were bigger than them. And I didn't know that there was a hierarchy even in the fat community. And so I was like, how are y'all free if y'all perpetuating the same things that you was fighting against? Like, that don't make sense.
Yeah.
You don't replace, you know, if you want to get rid of a hierarchy, you don't replace it with a hierarchy. So yeah. So anyway, I think like that's the intersectional piece.
Yeah.
Is I think a grand story to also keep in mind, because it's kind of like it's kind of, you know, we talk about diet culture all the time. It's kind of like if somebody got problems with food, if you restrict, you might see some changes on the scale, but you really didn't solve the root cause. You really didn't solve the problem. You know, and I can see people taking it as, you know, I love my body, but I still don't love my skin tone. I still don't love my hair. I still don't love, you know.
And yeah, and
it's
then
like you still had a same problem.
and also like it's like again that kind of aligns to me with that beauty conversation of who said you had to be in love with it.
Yeah.
It just
that's
is.
True too. Yeah,
it just literally is.
Because it don't matter.
And can you just
it
go
don't matter,
about
and it's
your
going
day?
And it's going to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's an indifferent.
Yeah. Because you don't have to love it.
At least that's what the Stoicism talks about it all the time. Don't fall into the trap of like thinking you have control over it, because it's gonna change no matter what. And we see the more people fight that, the more, I can't say that, I guess. The more people fight it, they look a little different, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting on how you fighting against something but turning yourself into a plastic caricature.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, that's just like how I thought, you know, but that's a me thing. Because other people, I'm sure they don't regret it, or you convince yourself that you don't regret it. Like my mole.
Yeah.
I thought what society thought about it, but I missed it. Because it's a part of me.
Right.
Not thinking of it as it wouldn't have been some standard of beauty now either. Like it still would have been ridiculed, but it was mine. How you didn't notice
the funny
it?
part about it. I just find it
I noticed it every day of my life.
I know. I just find that fascinating.